Hello everyone and welcome, it's Shanna. Now today I'm working with this Woodland Tales 12 by 12 printed paper pack from Spellbinders. There's 20 sheets with 10 designs and they're fabulous. So you get 2 of each. It includes 4 foil designs and they're acid and lignin free. And I'm going to be working with this. Now they do make this printed paper in a 6 by 6, but Spellbinders sent me the 12 by 12. So you could certainly use this for your scrapbooking and other larger type products and projects. In fact, I've got an idea that I'm going to use a bigger sheet of it for that I'll bring to my channel later. But I'm just showing you all the different pattern papers. We've got mushrooms, we've got beautiful florals, we've got some the fox and just some paint swatches and just a variety of really pretty prints. We've also got this Woodland Tales die cut shapes, and we have the Woodland Tales die cut sentiments. So I'm actually, what am I opening? I'm opening the sentiments first. And this has some great sentiments as well as some die cut pieces that have some words and stuff on it that you could use. And you get 72 pieces in here, so there is a lot. And I'm just kind of pulling out some of them and putting them down on this piece of paper so you can kind of check them out. But we've got grateful and enjoy the moment. We've got happy and high, and I think we have thankful and best wishes and thank you for your friendship and happy birthday, and just a lot of really great sentiments that you can use on this. And we've got one with a fox, and we've got some floral ones that have some sentiments on there. Smile, memories, just lots and lots of great sentiments. Here's one with a jar. And so we've got all those. So I just laid them down on the that piece of cover sheet for that paper so I could pick them up. And then I'm going to open up the Woodland Tales die cut shapes. And there are 86 pieces in this pack, and you've got floral elements, you've got those are some, like a stack of papers there, you've got mushrooms, you've got gilded mushrooms, you've got some moons, and you've got the fox, and more floral elements that have the gold on them, and some really pretty kind of woodland florals, I guess. And I'm just going to kind of go through some of those and show those to you. And we are just going to scratch the surface with this set today. I mean, we're just barely going to get started. So you can expect to see some reoccurring videos on my channel using these products, because I've got a lot of product here and I think I can do a lot with it. So you can see there's just all kinds of elements. Leaves, we've got some acorns, and that is what we got. I'm just move that aside. In addition to that, we've also got these Woodland Tales gems, and we've got the I've got a stamp set that is the Woodland Tales Impressions, and it has pretty much the same images that, along with some sentiments, that I've got on this Better Press plate. And this plate obviously is a Better Press plate, but it also hot foils beautifully. So we're not going to touch that today. That'll be another video. But today I'm going to work just simply with this 12 by 12 piece of paper that I have laying here, and I'm kind of showing you how I decided how I was going to use it. I've got my A2 Matting Basics dies there, and I'm just kind of setting them over some of the areas that I like and trying to determine how I want to cut them out so that I can make the most out of this 12 by 12 paper. And I kind of showed you, I cut that side off that has kind of the paper and the edge design. And we're going to lay that aside for later. We can use that for later. And then I've got some smaller pieces, and I've got 3 panels. So I'm going to use the 3 panels. We'll put this bigger piece aside, and I'm going to use the scraps, and I'm going to create 3 beautiful cards. And we're going to bring in some of the ephemera, some of the sentiments, and I'm also going to bring in some embossing folders. So for this first one, we're going to make it a top folding card, and I've got my card base there. I just needed to kind of take my bone folder and press it a little bit. And I'm going to bring in this Simon Hurley bark 3D embossing folder. And I'm going to bring in a panel that I embossed with it, and it is the Dune colored cardstock from Spellbinders. And I'm going to get it laid down on my card base, and that's going to be the first layer of my card. I'm also going to bring in some of the, it's a dark green Spellbinders cardstock that came in the holiday cardstock kit. I had some of those pieces already cut, and I'm going to use those. And I'm just going to first get my pattern paper here, the Woodland Tales paper, glued up, and I'm going to get it laid down on my green panel. Now, I was having trouble with that glue gun clogging up on me, and so I just filled one of my small little glue bottles, and I'm just going to use it. I'm just tired of fussing with it, so I filled this up, and I'm going to use it, and it'll work just fine. So I'm going to lay it down on my bark embossed panel, and I think this looks lovely together. I love the green, and I love the Dune cardstock with that mushroom collar. So we'll get this laid down on there, and we're just creating a real simple card. We're going to bring in the Best Wishes that has a butterfly on it, and we're also going to bring in another one of the butterfly ephemera pieces. We've got one little butterfly on our paper, and I thought it would be fun to add some more to it. So I'm just going to pop up that butterfly right there in the center, and we'll kind of bend his wings in a little bit so that we'll have a little bit of dimension. I am going to put some glue on there just to make sure that it gets fully adhered and I don't have to worry about it coming off. And we'll press that down, and then we'll put some more of that foam tape on our Best Wishes, and we'll get it laid down on our card. So I woke up at 4:44 this morning and couldn't get back to sleep, and so I thought, well, I'll just go in my craft room. And so this is the wee early morning that I'm making this card. So I just had the time, I was awake, and I thought I'm gonna make these cards. So we're gonna actually do 3 today. We're gonna use all 3 of those panels that I showed you in the first of the video. And we'll get the paper off the back of that tape. We'll get this laid down. And those are all the elements. So we're gonna move on to our second card. And for our second card, I'm going to use the section of it where I had the butterflies and kind of that fleur-de-lis pattern on the edge of the paper. And for this one, I brought in Shanna's Amaryllis 3D embossing folder, and it's beautiful. I just love it, and I'm going to use it. And I had to do some trimming, and I'm going to get it laid down on my card base with some glue, and then it will be our bottom layer. And we're going to, much like the other card, we're going to have an embossed panel as our bottom layer, and then we're going to have our floral pattern, and we're going to use some more of that green Spellbinders paper to just put a small edge around there. I had noticed on some of my videos that sometimes when I do my cards, I use completely different colors, and I wanted to kind of make my cards match. So I decided that I was going to kind of stick to a similar color scheme with all 3 of these colors so that when I take my video and my photo at the end, my cards all coordinate. And I'm just kind of tweaking some things on my channel, trying to improve, And so that's one of the things that I'm going to try to do going forward. The other thing I'm trying to remember is to use those nested dies that I have, because they make a real nice, crisp, clean cut on your cards. And so I brought my A2 Matting Basics in. And I've got some beautiful nested dies that have scalloped edges and stuff like that I'll be using in upcoming videos. So now I'm going to bring in this floral element. I just love the soft tones of the green and the brown and the orange on this floral. I just think it's beautiful. It's just really soft and elegant. And I'm just going to glue this straight down on there. And I'm going to actually cover up a couple of those butterflies. So I'll position this die cut piece here to cover up some of those. And we've got a leaf piece that's hanging off the edge there. And so I'll just flip it over, open my card up, grab my non-adhesive scissors, non-sticky scissors, I should say, and just trim that off and lay that aside. And then again, I'm going to bring in another one of those butterflies and just put some foam on the center, and we'll pop up the wings and get them laid down on to my card base. And I decided to turn it in the opposite direction and just kind of fluff up my wings. And then I thought this would make a pretty happy birthday card. So I've got a banner in green that says happy birthday in gold, and I'm going to bring in that real thin foam strips and just put a couple strips on this, and we'll pop the sentiment up on this card. And it's so thin, you can just easily tear it with your fingers if you want. I had a little hanging off the edge there, so I just snipped it off. And we're just going to layer happy birthday across there and just kind of fill in. And then we're going to work on our third card. Now this panel here is the strawberries and the strawberry florals. And we've got a little bit of greenery on there. And this is actually a smaller panel. I think this is 3 3/4 by... Actually, I think this is 3.5 by 4 3/4 is what this is. And I'm just going to score up a card base because I realized I didn't have a top folding and I needed it for the direction that this paper was in. So I just grabbed it. I'm going to bring in another one of my green panels, and this was actually a scrap, so it wasn't cut down to A2 size. I didn't realize it when I laid it aside. So I'm going to trim it down and get it ready for our card base. And I'm bringing in my spellbinders guillotine and using it to cut it. And we'll just get this laid down on our card base. And I'm not going to emboss this panel because I have already embossed a scrap panel that I want to bring in and use. I'm real big about using up my scraps and what I have on hand. So I'm going to kind of make it a little different shape on this one than what I normally do, just because I'm going to let my scrap paper decide my card. Now for this one, I brought in the hand-drawn lines embossing folder from Spellbinders. And I'll just get it laid down on here. And it's more narrow and long. And so I'm going to have it go from top to bottom, but I'm going to have 2 green sides showing, so we'll have some green on both sides of this panel, and we'll have a little different looking card with this. And it'll work nicely with that size that I die cut these strawberries out with. So you can see those strawberries will fit right across that panel and lay down nicely on there. And because I use the A2 Matting Basics, it's got a nice little frame all the way around that piece of paper. And we'll get that laid down on there. And for this one, we had some strawberry die cut pieces. We've got some greenery and some strawberries and the strawberry flowers. And we're going to pop it up and we'll get it laid down on our card. We're just going to put this on the lower right-hand corner of our card base and just kind of nestle it in. We'll get our foam tape laid down on there. And I like to bring in that bone folder to press it down because sometimes it's hard to get that release paper to give and it'll want to pull your foam up. So I try to press down with my bone folder so that I can get it released easy. So I'm going to position this on the corner. And I think it looks really pretty. Now for this one, I'm going to bring in one of those gold embellished sentiments. And this says, "Thank you for your friendship." And I think it's lovely. I love the font. We've got kind of a regular font and then kind of a scripty font on the friendship. And I think it's real pretty. And I'm just going to use my tape runner and get some tape on there. And we'll get it laid down on the top left side of our card base. And I think it'll be really pretty. Now I've realized that I haven't used my Woodland gems. And so I'm going to grab those and bring them in. And we're going to embellish we're going to get our cards embellished all up now. I think I decide not to do anything with the strawberry because it's a pretty busy card. And so I'm just going to bring in some for my mushroom card. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to use the kind of peachy orange ones because they match my butterflies and my mushroom. And I'll put 2 here on the bottom. Actually, I'm doing my butterfly first. I'm going to get 3 on the bottom right-hand corner. I'll put a large one and then 2 of the I guess, medium size or smaller ones on there. And then I'm going to grab a couple more, and I am adding a little bead of glue just so they adhere really nice. I do it part of the time, and part of the time I forget. But we'll get those laid down on there. And we've got 5 of those Woodland Tale gems on there, and I think it looks really pretty. It adds some shine to this. And then I'm going to take those little scraps of paper that I had there, and I'm going to go ahead and add them to the inside of the card. So for the butterfly one, I'm just bringing this leafy green one, and I'm just going to lay it on the right side of the card. And we'll just bring a little bit of color to the inside of the card, and that'll finish off that card. And now we're going to work on the mushroom card. I kind of got ahead of myself there. And for this one, I will use the peachy, orangey gems as well. And I'll put 2 there between the 2 mushrooms. You can only see just a partial of that one mushroom. And then we'll put another one just above our butterfly sentiment. And we'll have 3 embellishments on this card. And then we're going to grab, for this card, we're going to grab some of the just that scrolly, almost looks like paper. It just has the lines almost like some school paper or something like that, but it is more distressed, and we've got the scroll pattern at the bottom. I'm going to trim it down, and we'll just lay it down on the inside of our card. And then for a minute, I'll think about what embellishments I might put on this strawberry card. And then as I look at it, I realize it's pretty busy. I don't think that I need it. And so then I've got a little piece of just the leafery and the scrolled paper on there, and I'm going to lay it down on the inside. And you certainly could put some more, another die cut piece or a couple pieces on the inside because you have plenty of pieces. I didn't do that today, but you certainly could do that because you get a lot of them. So here's my 3 cards. We've got our mushroom, our butterfly, and our strawberries. And I think they turned out really pretty. So thanks for watching. I hope you like them. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye now.